Welcome back to EDU-Tutor. Today we're going to be looking at May-June 2011, Paper 1, Unit 1. Question 1 says, which of the following best describes sociology as a discipline? A. The systematic study of human social behavior. B. Experimental design of human interaction. C. The systematic study of individual behavior. Or D. An understanding of the way things are in society. If you said A, then you are correct. B. Which of the following are characteristics of empirical research? 1. The hypothesis is testable. 2. Data are interpreted and analyzed. 3. Data are collected in a systematic way. Or 4. The hypothesis is confirmed or refuted. Alright, so if you say 1, 2, 3, and 4, then you are correct. Which of the following theories subscribes to the view that shared culture is necessary for a society to run smoothly? Is it Marx, Mead, Weber, or Durkheim? It's Durkheim. A sociologist who decides to research the prevalence of teenage pregnancy across various generations in a society is pursuing A case study, B, an in-depth study, C, a longitudinal study, or D, a cross-sectional study. And he or she is doing a cross-sectional study. Number 5, which of the following terms describe the process where the dominant culture is imposed on the subordinate culture? Is that assimilation, acculturation, enculturation, or counterculture? And the answer is acculturation. A major difference between the positivist and the interpretivist is that positivists A use case studies while interpretivists use experiments. B are microtheorists while interpretivists are macrotheorists. Use quantitative research methods while interpretivists use qualitative research methods. Study human behavior using qualitative methods while interpretivists use quantitative methods. So, number 6, of course, is C. Which of the following thinkers are associated with the development of sociology in the Caribbean? Is it M.G. Smith, Susan Craig, Anthony Giddens, or Rhoda Reddock? Alright, so all of these persons are concerned with it. A group of students is researching the prevalence of drug abuse in a community. Which sampling method may be best of this study? Is it random, quota, snowball, or stratified? Alright, so usually they use questionnaires and those things. So we would go ahead and select D, which is stratified. According to Durkheim, a social fact is A. External to the individual, obvious in all situations, institutions in society, functional for social order, and role allocation necessary to maintain societal integration. So that's A. Which of the following practical issues should a sociologist consider before in doing research? Cost of research, access to information, time required to do the research, and availability of information. So if you're a good researcher, you will think of all of these items when you're going to do a research, because all of these would ensure that your research is conducted properly. When a research method is repeatedly applied and consistently produces the same result, we say that it is reliable. Which of the following is the main reason for using a multi-stage sample in research? Is it A, it will allow for quick and easy analysis of the data? A large geographical area can be covered in less time. Important characteristics with the sample can be tested. All sample units have unequal chance of being selected. And we're going with A. All right. 13. Social researchers are often criticized for not adhering to ethical principles in research. Which of the following is not an ethical principle? The right to privacy, the consent of the participant, the right to research, the publication of research findings. So the answer is C, the right to research. Professor X has demanded that his class take part in his research. Non-participation results in failure. What ethical issue is that? And that's voluntary participation. A subculture can best be defined as a group whose cultural traits have been assimilated into the modern society that has certain cultural traits which are inferior to those of the group located within the wider society which has norms and values that are different. And that's it. All right, let's move on. 16. Families meet the needs of society to socialize children and reproduce new members. This statement most closely reflects, and that, of course, would agree with our functionalist view. All right, so that agrees with the functionalist view. Maria, who has one son from a previous relationship, has married Marcel, who has two daughters. They all live in the same family, and we classify this as a reconstituted family. Which of the following theory supports the view that religion is not a barrier to social change? Is it Karl Marx, Max Weber, Talcott Parsons, or Emile Durkheim? And the answer to that is Max Weber. So Max Weber thought that religion was not a barrier to social change. Marriage equality among Black families in the Caribbean is a result of male marginality, male dominance, African retentions, or polygamous unions. All right, so we know for sure that male marginality is one of the reasons that causes um, matrifocality among Black families. And also, sometimes it comes from the African traditions that we have. Which of the following features is a characteristic of a sect? Its membership rejects the beliefs of others. It does not seek to change inequality. It limits its membership to a specific class, or members can belong to other religious groups. All right, and we know that that is a. Which of the following theoretical perspectives suggest that labeling is used to explain how teacher expectations are linked to educational performance, and that, of course, is interactionist. A meritocracy is a system in which rewards and social positions are based on what? Is it class and gender, ability and ethnicity, achievement and class, or ability and achievement? All right, so the answer for that is ability and achievement. Which of the following can be considered similarity between the family based on common law union and the family based on a visiting union? So, A, in both units, there's a stable father figure. The mother is more likely to be the head of a household in each unit. Both types of units are relatively stable. Both family types are recognized as legal units. And the answer is B. Education policy in the post colonial Caribbean society aimed at giving equal access to all social groups. Which of the following terms describe this type of society? Is it a closed, stratified, ascriptive, or meritocratic? And this is a meritocratic. Alright, so the Marxist view of education stresses that society rewards individuals for hard work. Education allows elite to dominate society, and of course, that's the answer. Rastafarianism is characterized as a syncretic religion because it's a monotheistic in nature, practiced by all classes, a religion that was formed exclusively in the Caribbean, or derived from African, European, and East Indian religious groups. Alright, so it is because it was derived from African, European, and East Indian religious groups. Secularization may best be described as an enrichment of religious beliefs, an increase in religious practices, the reduction in religious influences, or the growth in the number of religious sects. The answer is C. Karl Marx argued that religion promotes positive change, justifies poverty and oppression, unites a different social class, or promotes alienation from production. And it's B. Number 29 says, which of the following best explains academic underachievement among students from working class families? Is it lower IQ level, poor work ethic, home environment, or uneducated parents? And the answer is home environment. The education system reinforces gender stereotyping. This perspective is best illustrated in which of the following statements? Females outnumber males at tertiary level institutions. Females are expected to pursue non technical subjects. Males underachieve in school because teachers are predominantly female, or males value non academic routes to success more than their female counterpart. And the answer is B. Doctors of great importance to society. Doctors are of greater importance to society than janitors. Therefore, they should be placed higher on the stratification scale. This statement most closely reflects the views of who? Is it Best and Levitt, Davis and Moore, Marx and Engels, or Young and Wilmot? Alright, so this was said by Kingsley Davis and Wilbert Moore. Which of the following theories is associated with the historical perspective of social stratification in the Caribbean? And remember that that would be George Beckford. 33. Carl, born to a poor family in Trinidad, has become an educated politician at the age of 40 years old. Which of the following best describes this type of mobility? Alright, so that would be an upward social mobility, and that here would reflect a vertical social mobility. So the Marxist term for the working class is the serf, the peasants, the proletariat, or the bourgeoisie. Alright, so we know that that is the proletariat. Item 35 refers to the following. John's brother James is a cleaner at a local car company. John recently attained his degree at the university and was employed as a business manager in a prestigious organization. Which of the following types of social mobility describes John's experience? Also vertical. Which of the following best describe intergenerational mobility? Alright, so remember that intergenerational mobility happens when persons across generations get higher statuses. So, for instance, A says the son of a laborer becomes a laborer. These persons are on the same level, so that is not intergenerational mobility. B says after 10 years of formal education, a skilled mechanic becomes a lawyer. C says Mary was demoted to clerical worker after working as an administrative assistant for 10 years. And then D, Jane became a hospital receptionist, and subsequently her daughter became a medical doctor. And that's the answer. 37. According to the functionalist perspective, social mobility is restricted in, is it open societies, meritocracies, modern societies, or closed society? Alright, so the answer is closed societies. It also says which of the following illustrates the views of Max Weber and Karl Marx on social stratification. 1. Institutions in society, in particular the economy, are critical to shaping society. 2. Status is critical to an understanding of stratification in society. 3. The powerful in society use their ideas and values to control the powerless. Or 4. The unequal distribution of resources in society results in an economic classes with varying degrees of power. And of course, the answer is all three of two. So it's 2, 3, and 4. Which of the following reasons best accounts for the open system of stratification in Caribbean society? Is it the upper class has maintained its privilege over other social classes? Government policy has promoted equal access to education and employment opportunities. Government will advocate for access to education and employment opportunities. Education and employment opportunities are unequally distributed across all classes. And the answer is B. Number 40, the functionalist view of stratification is best reflected in the belief that it is universal and shapes the social system, facilitates the optimal functioning of society and the individual, is an expression of the commonly shared values of the powerful groups, or arises from the societal need for integration, coordination, and cohesion. And the answer is C. Social stratification provides an effective mechanism for role allocation. This view is associated with whom? Alright, so again, this is Davis and Moore. Which of the following factors best accounts for the change in the Caribbean social structure from closed to open? Is it new job opportunities, creation of new wealth, political independence, or availability of education? And going with I and V, or 1 and 4. Which of the following factors has had the least impact on the change in gender roles in the Caribbean over the last 50 years? Is it political independence? Sorry. Secularization, use of contraceptives, or educational opportunities? I'm going with political independence. In a closed society, which determinant will least affect a person's social position? Is it race, education, skin color, or family ancestry? The education is the answer. Which of the following statements are true of gender mobility? More women than men are enrolled in tertiary education. Males are less likely to get top jobs today as a result of patriarchy. Females outnumber males in clerical and secretarial occupations, and women do not face discrimination in the labor market. The answer is 1 and 3 only. Alright, so thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to our channel, like, and share.